The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. So often we hear the Psalms that we sing after our first reading, and we look and if someone asks, what are the scriptures read during the Mass? They'd say, perhaps Acts of the Apostles in the Old Testament, a reading from the epistles and the Gospel. But one of the scripture texts that is meant for us each Sunday to share and to reflect on is that psalm. The psalm we sing each Sunday in response. Today, the wonderful 23rd Psalm, the Psalm of the Good Shepherd. The reason why that's particularly important today is we're in Good Shepherd Sunday. We're at the time of the year where we're reflecting on this reading from the Gospel of John, in which Jesus describes himself this week as the gate for the sheep. Next week, the Good Shepherd. Good Shepherd Sunday we describe today, a day for us to reflect in the church on vocations. On the call of Christ, the movement of the Spirit in each of our lives, the call that God has for each of us, the call for the four of you, Luke and Marcel and Emma and Isabella, the call for you to come and meet him in Holy Communion, not just today, but for the rest of your life. That call. In the gospel reading today, we've got a variety of characters. We've got thieves and robbers and strangers. We've got a shepherd and sheep. So often in the history of the church, one of the challenges for us has been the image of both shepherd and sheep. That shepherd is the one who is certainly the leader, the one who knows us by name, the one who calls us out of the sheepfold, here this big sheepfold we're in, that calls us out to go into the world. But the image of sheep has been the problem. Because the image of sheep very often is those who are dumb, those who are voiceless, those who can only follow, those who cannot see in their own lives how to make decisions. The church is in the process of preparing for a global and historic event in the life of the church. The Synod on Synodality that's been called by our Holy Father Francis for October of this year and October of next year. A dialogue with all of the people of the church of the world. In conversations in the United States, all Catholics were invited to participate in this conversation. And in the end, 800,000 participated. It's a small number when you think of 60 million Catholics. But when you think it's the largest listening to the church that's been done in a formal way in its history, just in this one country. Right now, the Synod is at the stage where dioceses have gathered their input from their voices, their people, all of us. They've then gathered in regions, in states, in nations, and now the nations are together. So we now have reports from the church in Africa, the church in Oceania, the church in Europe, the church in South America, the church in North America, and an interesting new church, the digital church, even has a response. A chance for the church to be not only a teaching church, but a listening church. On the walls of our narthex, on the head of our pastoral offices, we have those great words from the prologue to the Constitution on the Church in the Modern World that says that the joys and anguishes, the fears of the people of God are the fears of all of us, that all human emotions and life, the best and the challenges, are ours. The church listens, and today in a very particular way is listening. So one of the things we might hear, sisters and brothers, on this Vocation Sunday, on this Good Shepherd Sunday, is that we've got two calls, each of us, that come to us in the sacrament of baptism, that come to us through the life of Jesus and the Spirit that are brought to us in the sacrament of baptism, that are nourished each Sunday in the sacrament of communion, that as we meet Christ, the gate of the sheep, that we are called, all of us, to be not only sheep, but shepherds. But not sheep who are dumb and voiceless, but sheep who have a voice, who read the signs of the time, sheep who speak our voice within the church, not to the church, for we indeed are the church, to speak our concerns. And that we do recognize that we do have a church in which we do have a teaching church. And so that our shepherds, our pastors, our bishops, our Holy Father, that all indeed are there to guide us as well. But we too, sisters and brothers, are called to be leaders and guides, to take seriously the faith of our baptism, and to be able to speak and lead as church. Bishop Del Oro, at the sacrament of confirmation a few weeks ago, used an image that was a powerful image. He said to the young people who were being confirmed, he said to them, "Who is your influencer? Think of your social media influencer. Think of your political influencer. Think of your shopping influencer, your hair and makeup influencer. Who is the influencer in your life?" In our social media world, there are so many influencers. As Jesus reminds us today, as we live as sheep and shepherd, there is one influencer that we are called to follow. That we are called to follow the one who is the gate. Because the gate is the one who allows us and enables us and empowers us to come and to go. That gatekeeper in another section of John's beautiful gospel says, "I am the way. I am the way." A reminder for us, Emma, Luke, Marcel, and Isabella, a reminder for us that when you receive the Eucharist, each time you receive the Eucharist, you encounter Christ. You encounter Jesus, who is indeed the way, who is to be in your lives and in all of our lives, the influencer, the gatekeeper, the shepherd, the way.
Please like, subscribe, or comment below.